Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is part 6 of the talk on the topic Introduction to Vedic Astrology. In my last talk, part 5, I have been talking about planet Mercury or Buddha Bhagavan. To continue this talk, Mercury is one of the very good benefic planet, and among the 7 days in the week, Wednesday or Budankirma is considered to be the day of Mercury. That's a saying in Tamil. Pon கிடைத்தாலும் புதன் கிடைக்காது. To that extent, Wednesday or Budankirma is a very auspicious day for all events. Then in the horoscope, if Mercury is located in Lagna or the first house, or second house, or fourth or fifth or sixth, not sixth, or fourth or fifth or seventh or eighth or ninth or 10th or 11th house, Mercury will give very good results. And if Mercury in the horoscope is aspected or is in conjunction with Saturn or Venus or Jupiter, then Mercury will give very good results. If Mercury is located in the third house or sixth house or 12th house, he may not give good results. There could be some undesirable aspects. And if Mercury receives affliction from negative planets like Rahu or Ketu or Mars, then or Saturn, then possibly there could be some negative results to higher extent also. The next point I wanted to impress upon you is there are certain professions which are unique to people who have Mercury in a pivotal position in the horoscope. Mercury is a planet of mathematics. So those who have Mercury in good position will be very good at mathematics, and they will be carrying on the profession of mathematicians, mathematics teacher. Like that, Mercury is also a planet of communications. So journalism, media. This could be one more. These could be one more area. Then accountants. Then IT professionals engaged in communications. So these are all some of the areas where Mercury professions can be identified. Then we have another important aspect, that is, I have done this research on the effect of different planets in different countries of the world. As a student of astrology, I find that Mercury significantly affects events in Japan. Even the stock market, the movement of stock market in Japan, or the foreign exchange currency movement in Japanese yen, they are all influenced substantially by the transit of Mercury or the affliction to Mercury or a good aspect to Mercury. For example, in the year 1945, August 6th, when atom bomb was dropped in Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, on that day, if you look at the position of planets in the sky, Mars or Kujan was transiting Rohini Nakshatram. In my first talk on Introduction to Vedic Astrology, I had mentioned that when in Srimad Valmiki Ramayanam Aranya Gandam, Sarga 46, chapter 46, it has been stated that when Mars or Saturn transit Rohini Nakshatram, there could be great damage in the world. So that way, on the 6th August 1945, Mars was transiting Rohini Nakshatra, and Mercury was in Simha Rasi. So Mercury was receiving fourth house aspect of Mars, sitting in Rishabha Rasi. Then Saturn along with Rahu was located in Mithuna Rasi on the day, and by the third house aspect, Saturn was influencing, was having a negative effect on Mercury. Thus, on that day, the planet Mercury was having affliction from Rahu, from Saturn, from Mars. So, all these things will possibly indicated that such a catastrophe was going to happen on that day. That completes astrological view of a Mercury planet. I had also spoken about numerology also. Mercury indicates number 14, number 5. 5 means 5, 1 plus 4, 5, 14. Then 23, 2 plus 3, 5. In palmistry also, it is stated that the area under the little finger is called Budan Medi or Mercury Mount. If this mount is properly developed, then that person is very intelligent and has a good communication capability and would be good in interpersonal relationships. Incidentally, the horizontal line that mount is called a marriage line or partnership line. If the marriage line is well formed, that means the person will have good marriage relationships. Then the little finger is called Mercury finger. If the Mercury finger is long enough to exceed the first cusp of ring finger, then it indicates that the person is very intelligent. If the Mercury finger only just touches the first cusp of the ring finger, then he is of reasonably good intelligence. If it falls below that, then the person is of average intelligence. So these are all some of the major points regarding planet Mercury. Now I will discuss about Venus. The number of Venus planet in numerology is number 6. That means the dates is 6, then the date 15, 1 plus 5, 6, and the date 24, 2 plus 4, 6. So those born on these dates will have the impact of Venus or Shukra Bhagavan. The major properties of Venus are, Venus is actually a benefic planet. It is more associated with all material pleasures, good food, then ornaments, dressing oneself very well with gold ornaments, then silver items. Venus is also associated with fair sex. That way, beauty products, all cosmetic activities, then cinema, drama, drawing, art, sculpture, putting columns and all that. So all these external beauties, they are all the reflection of property of Venus or Shukra Bhagavan. And the stars owned by Shukra Bhagavan are Bharani, Puram and Puradam. So those born in the dates number 6, etc., and those born in these stars, Bharani, Puram and Puradam, they will externally reflect all these positive qualities or the beauty of the material beauty of planet Venus. But the other side of Venus is that he is actually an Acharya. He is Acharya for Asuras, as Jupiter is Acharya for Devas. As an Acharya, he has achieved highest recognition, highest appreciation of Lord Shiva by doing a very austere tapas. And he only knew this Amrita Sanjeevani mantra, meaning Shukra Bhagavan or Venus could make the dead person alive. He was using that power to bring back to life all the asuras who were killed by devas in the wars. So that way, those who are having these stars, Bharani, Puram and Puradam, and born on the dates 6, 15 and 24, even though outwardly they will be appearing to be very materialistic, interested in all sensual enjoyments, internally they are all very calm and very focused people. They know how to plan their life to achieve their long-term objectives. Then regarding the planet Venus, another important point to note is that the size of the planet is same as that of the Earth, and the planet has got very dense clouds, and these clouds contain a lot of carbon dioxide, very dense in carbon dioxide. Since the size of the planet is closer to the size of the Earth, many people, many scientists and astronomers thought that there could be life in Venus also, but so far they have not been able to find. Since the clouds are very dense, whatever heat Venus receives from Sun, being located very near to Sun, the heat is transmitted back to the atmosphere. I said earlier that Mercury is very close to Sun. After Mercury, Venus is also closer to Sun. And Venus is sometimes far away from Sun also. This period is called elongation. During the period of elongation, we can see Venus from Earth in the daytime also. So that is why there is also another opinion, another theory in astrology. I was talking about Karakas for different father. I said Sun is a Karaka for getting children, Guru Bhavan is a Karaka, and for mother I said Moon is a Karaka. There is another opinion that in the case of only those born in the night, Moon is Karaka for mother. In the case of those born in the daytime, Venus is Karaka for mother. By looking at the position of Venus in the horoscope of the person, we can infer about the qualities of mother. Then Venus can be seen most of the days, either before sunrise or after sunset. Being a very bright planet, it can be seen with naked eyes also. Venus, the temperature in there is around 950 degrees Fahrenheit, always very hot. And Venus is exalted in Meena Rasi, around 28 degree of Meenam, and debilitated in Kanya Rasi. Then there are two houses which are owned by Venus. They are Rishabham and Tula. Rishabham is a fixed sign, Tulam is a mobile sign. In this Rishabha Lagnam only Lord Krishna was born when he took incarnation in the world. Then this Tula Rasi or Tula Lagnam During this period only, the worship of goddess is said to give a very maximum benefits to the person doing the worship. So normally Navaratri either falls in Puratasi or sometimes in Aipasi also. As I said, Venus uh, is more feminine in nature among all the planets. Friday is said to be the day of the Venus among the 7 days, and this Friday worship of any goddess is considered to be very favorable and recommended also. And Venus is sometimes seen as the god of Muslims also. I always observe that whenever any sports event, cricket match is played between India and Pakistan on Friday, there is to be good chances that Pakistan will win. On the Fridays, actually, Muslims are very much excited. They do extra prayer on that day. There is one opinion that they say Allah Shukr hai, something like that. Shukr means they mean thank Allah, something. But then some people take that to mean that Allah is Venus. But whatever it is, Muslims are in very high spirits on Friday. The another important aspect I wanted to talk about is about Sukracharya in Bhagavata Puranam. In Bhagavata Puranam it is stated that Lord incarnated as Vamana when the king of the demons Mahabali, he became very powerful, and he was crossing the path of Devatas in the sky, and he was about to acquire the entire kingdom of Devatas. He performed one yagam called Aswamedha Mahayagam. At that time, Lord incarnated as Vamana and went to the yagam. On seeing the Vamana in great radiance and effulgence, Mahabali was carried away, and he offered him any charity wanted by that boy. And Vamana said, "You give me only land equal to 3 times the length of my feet." Mahabali, looking at the small size of Vamana, first they ridiculed. But when Lord insisted that it is sufficient for me, he agreed to give that. Shukracharya was the Acharya for Mahabali. He was watching all these and realized that Lord Narayana has come as Vamana, and he must have come there only to take away all the wealth of Mahabali to save the Devas. So he told Mahabali not to fulfill his promise to Vamana, but Mahabali, being the grandson of the great devotee Prahlada, he did not want to go back on his promise. He was very happy that God has come to take charity from him. He wanted to go ahead with that. Sukracharya cursed Mahabali, but then he also normally we pour water when we give charity. So Sukracharya occupied, reduced his size to a very small person and occupied the kamandalo. His intention was that he will be blocking the space in the spout through which water will come by his presence. But Lord Narayana is a Sarvajna. He knows how to get over any situation. What he did was, he took a grass and used that grass to pierce the spout of the kamandalo. When Sukracharya was sitting, one of his eyes became blind because of that. So that way it is believed that Sukracharya is having only one eye with normal vision, and another eye is blind. If Venus is having affliction in the horoscope, there are chances that that person will have eyesight problem, maybe even blind also. If Venus is very well located in Lagna or the first house, the native will be very beautiful with sparkling eyes and enchanting cheeks and all that. If Venus is located in the first house or second or fourth or fifth or sixth or eighth or ninth or 10th or 11th, he will give very good results, especially when he is aspected by functional benefics in the horoscope. If Venus is located in the third house or seventh house or the 12th house, there could be a problem for the native of the horoscope. Then for Pariharam for Venus will be Kanjanur temple. The temple is called Agni Purishwara temple. It is located in Kanjanur near to Kumbhakonam. I covered almost all the points regarding Venus. This will continue in my next talk. Thank you.